Right, number 11, the volume of right circular cylinder A is 22 cubic centimeters. What is the volume in cubic centimeter of a right circular cylinder with twice the radius and half the height of cylinder A? Okay, so this is a geometry question, and we're talking about the volume of a cylinder. So if you have volume of cylinder, we can start with the formula. And so this formula will be given on the formula sheet as well. So you need to refer back to the formula sheet. We do have it. So volume of cylinder should be V equal to pi r squared times the height. Okay, so pi r squared h. Okay, so what we have is they for this question they give us the volume. Okay, so we know volume for cylinder A is 22. Okay, so V will be 22. We don't know what the radius is and we don't know what the height is. All we know is the volume. So pi r squared h should equal to 22 pretty much. Okay. And then based on that, we're making some changes to the cylinder. Okay, so right now we're gonna, so what we have now is a new cylinder, and this new cylinder, the radius is gonna be doubled. Okay, so at twice the radius, and the height is gonna be half. Okay, so half the height. So if you think about this new cylinder, let me just write it over here. We're trying to figure out the volume. Okay, we don't know what that is, but we know the formula is going to be the same, pi r squared h, right? So pi is just pi, that doesn't change. But instead of r squared, now the radius is going to be doubled. Okay, the radius 2 times as before. So instead of r, we'll say that's 2r squared. Okay, so we're going to replace the r value, right? Replace the radius with 2r, so 2 times that. So I had to put it in the parentheses, so the whole thing, right, will be squared. And the height will be half, so it'll be 1/2 h. So instead of h, we're gonna put a 1/2 h. Okay, and then we can multiply this out and simplify things a little bit. See, we should get here pi times 2r squared will be 2r times 2r, and that will actually be 4r squared. So I had to square the 2 as well. Okay, so this is 4r squared times 1/2 h. And then we can put things together. 4 times 1/2, that should be, so what's half of 4? That will be 2, right? So we multiply everything out, we should get 2 in front, and then we have a pi r squared times the height. Okay, so you get 2 pi r squared h. And what do we know, right? We know pi r squared h, right, compared to the original cylinder. The volume is 22, so pi r squared h should be 22. So here we can just go and do a substitution, right, to replace the pi r squared h with 22. Okay, so we know that's equal to 22. So the new volume here, if you continue to solve here, we know pi r squared h should equal to 22. So pretty much the new cylinder, the volume should be double the original cylinder. Okay, the overall volume will be double because is radius is double, so it'll be 4 times for the volume, and then the height is half, so we reduce it by half, so we overall the change will be 2 times. Okay, so radius have a bigger effect because the radius is squared. Okay, yeah, so we solve this 2 times 22, this is 44. Okay, so 2 times 22 is 44. That should be the new volume for the, after we make the change, that'll be the new line, okay, which is letter C for question 11. Okay, for this one, we could also pick some numbers to use for R and H, and then we can change them up and then see how the volume change. But the tricky part is that for this one is they give us a volume 22, right? So if you fix a number for R and H, you have to make it equal to 22, which might be a little bit tricky because we have the pi there. Okay, so for this question, it might be easier to think through it and do it like this. Okay, so our answer should be C for number 11.